Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Shoutcraft America. No more of that. That's quite enough. Thank you very much. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Shoutcraft America group selection. I don't think this is appropriate. It's like, the saddest event in American history now begins. No. This is a joyous event. This is a joyous event indeed. This is where we find out what the groups will be for Shoutcraft America. Let's find something a little bit more suitable. Nope. No. Come on, really? Yeah, I like that. Bit of Star Control too, why not? Alright. This is where we find out the 4 groups for the round of 16 for the Shoutcraft America tournament, which begins on May the 5th. We will be doing this live group selection process. You will have access to everything, and I will be very much doing this selection live. I'll show you how in a minute. However, just to make sure that your time is not wasted, I'm also giving you some free stuff. Like this, for instance. Yes. First one to grab that gets it. I have 30 more of those. I've got some keys to give away. I'm going to give you away some Awesome Noughts copies. Those are to be registered on Steam. And I'm also going to give you pre-order codes for Starbound, the forthcoming game from one of the devs of Terraria. So I've got plenty of free stuff to give you throughout this little show. It's not going to be a long show. I'll do a little bit of discussion here and there, but not too much. So, shall I show you how the selection's going to go? A long time ago, I used to wear a silly hat. It didn't go well. Honestly, didn't go well. So I eventually got rid of it for charity, but it felt wrong not having one, so I got another one. Inside this hat, there are 16 dollar bills. Each of these American dollar bills has a name of a player written upon it. Now you might say, well, Totalbiscuit, it's illegal to deface US currency. My answer to that? Freedom. So, we will be drawing from the hat, and then we'll be filling in the groups. I will give you a group spreadsheet. You can go and check out tinyurl.com/SCA groups. That's tinyurl.com/SCA groups. And that will give you the information you need. I'll be updating that as we go through. So, the hat. 16 names in the hat. Each a player eligible for this tournament. We will shake up the hat. Very much so. We will make sure that everything here is nice and mixed up. This is the most scientific and fair way I could figure out to organize these groups. Simple as that. Alright, nice and mixed up. 16 folded dollar bills. Oh yes. In the meantime, there's another Awesome Noughts key. Go redeem it. Better be quick, better have good memory. 3, 2, 1, gone. Alright. Here we go. Let's do these groups then, shall we? Let's find out. First, it shall be Group A. We are currently drawing for Group A. The first name for Group A. Root Puck. Root Puck will be the first member of Group A. There you go. Give it another shake. You can hear that? Yep, nice and fair. Bear in mind, this is completely random. This means we could get an all-root group. That is possible. It's what happens when you have 5 players in the 16. The second player for Group A. Root Vibe. Root Vibe. So there you go. 2 Root players in 1 group already. Bear in mind, 2 can advance. I bet Root are very much hoping they won't get any more of those. So the first was Puck. And the second, Root Vibe. In the meantime, here's another Awesome Noughts key to keep you happy. There you go. See? Best be quick with it. 3, 2, 1, gone. Alright. the third player for Group A. Maker from Chaos Latin Gamers. Chaos Latin Gamers Maker. He is a Terran player. There you go. So that's currently 1 Zerg, 1 Protoss, and 1 Terran. And not an all-root group, which I'm sure Katz is very happy about. It was guaranteed that we would have at least 1 group with 2 root players in it, considering there are 4 groups and 5 root players. Only simple logic there. The final player for Group A. Nice and shaken up. There we go. Minigun. Oh, Group A is a root group. That means 1 root player will not be advancing to the round of 8. That is bad luck. Root Minigun. Protoss player. So let's just say it's very likely that we know 1 root player will make it to the round of 8. That is guaranteed. There's no way for that not to happen. 2 root players very well could, but Maker is of course standing in the way. So that's 3 out of 5 root players in Group A. That's a bit unfortunate for them, but it does mean that we will have a very, very small likelihood of the other 2 groups clashing. It's probably not going to happen. Alright, another Awesome Nauts key for you. There you go. We're giving out some Starbound a little bit later on. 3, 2, 1, gone. Here, have another one. There you go. All I can say is I hope you're not watching on 240p, because you ain't reading that. There you go. 3, 2, 1, gone. Alright. So, that was Group A. That is 2 Protoss, a Zerg, and a Terran. Root Puck, Root Vibe, Chaos Latin Gamers Maker, and Root Minigun. Alright. Group B. Make sure it's all shaken up. You can see, the notes are still there. Alright. The first player for Group B. Gosu user. Millennium Gosu user. There you go. He's a strong one. Arguably the strongest Zerg in this tournament. We will find out if that's really true. Before we go to the next one, here's another Awesome Nauts key for you. There you go. 3, 2, 1, gone. Alright, next player for Group B. That's upside down. Hendralisk, Complexity Hendralisk. There you go. This is already looking to be a pretty strong group here. Hendralisk and Gosu user. Wow, alright. So strong that it won't actually let me edit the Google Doc. Whoops. I think we may have overloaded the Google document. Alright, I'm just going to refresh that. Yeah, that very much did overload it. It's okay, it's back. No big deal. Hendralisk. Yes, indeed. Also a very strong player. Bear in mind, of course, that Hendralisk is Canadian. And Hendralisk, of course, plays Zerg, so there is a possibility we'll see a ZVZ in that group. We may not, but 2 very, very strong players. Alright. With that, let's get it shaken up a little bit more. The third player for Group B. That's upside down. Drunken Boy. FXO Drunken Boy. First Terran in that group. And he's going to have a wild ride by the looks of it. FXO Drunken Boy. Get that updated. Maybe I put too many spaces in there. As I fix this, here's another code for Awesome Nauts. There you go. If you don't know what Awesome Nauts is, it's a pretty cool 2D Dota game. 3-on-3. It's pretty awesome. I have a character in it. It's voiced by me. Here's some free codes. Okay. We're gonna put him in there. So, Drunken Boy. And the last player. The last player. Group B. That's upside down. That is Neeb, ladies and gentlemen. Neeb. One of the lesser-known players of the group. Along with Drunken Boy, actually. 2 guys looking to really prove themselves against 2 very established players, Gosu User and Hendralisk. Neeb. There you go. That's pretty cool. That's going to be an interesting group. That's pretty hard to call, I've got to say. Gotta say. Unfortunately, it's also a group where 2 FXO players have ended up. So we have FXO North America with 2 players in Group B. That being Neeb and, of course, Drunken Boy. Let me get this updated for you. Gosa user Hendrilisk Drunken Boy Neeb is the second group. That's Group B. So that's 2 Terran and 2 Zerg. No Protoss in the group. Alright. There are 8 dollar bills remaining. 8 dollar bills. There you go. Get this nice and shaken up. Perhaps you'd like not 1, but 2 codes. There you go, 2 codes for awesome notes. Give you a good 5 more seconds. These are registered on Steam, folks. Registered on Steam, first come, first serve. 3, 2, 1, and gone. Alright. Now we enter Group C. This is where things get interesting. Who do we have left, you might ask? Well, we have 2 more players from Root still available. We still have some very, very strong players. QXC has not been deployed yet. Just bear that in mind. QXC, the top-ranked player in this qualifier, has not been drawn yet. Alright. Let us see, shall we? Will we get QXC in Group C? We will find out. The first entry is Root Kane. Root Kane. There you go. Root Kane is your first contestant in Group C. Well, that's already pretty damn strong as far as I'm concerned. Kane is really good. It's terrifyingly good. It's another Canadian player. He is, of course, a Zerg as well. 7 names remain in the hats. Have another key to keep you satisfied until then. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, gone. The next player, Group C. Massa. Root Massa. There you go. So that's a group with 3 Root and a group with 2 Root. Root Massa. Very highly ranked in the qualifier. Very, very highly ranked indeed. Root are probably not too happy about that, but hey, it's random group selection for you. It happens. That group, however, very possible for both Root players to advance. That is a Terran player and a Zerg. Kane as Zerg and Massa as Terran. And that's all the Root players gone now. So we got a big Rooty group in Group A and then a slightly less Rooty group in Group C. The question is, who will join them? There are 2 more spots available in Group C. So, that's how it's left. There you go. Shake it up. The third player for Group C is... upside down. Evil Genius's Suppy, the only EG representative. Idra unfortunately did not quite get there. Evil Genius's Suppy, very strong player. This is going to be a nasty group. Man, if they complete this with QXC, then I would maybe even call this the group of death. But that's a big group. It's already a big group. So let's find out who the final player is, folks. Evil Genius's Suppy. That's 2 Zerg and 1 Terran. Here's another Awesome Notes key before we find out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and gone. Alright. The final player for Group C. It is Hello Kitty! Protoss player, Hello Kitty. Currently teamless, if I recall correctly. Used to be on Pulse. There you go. Hello Kitty's got a lot to prove. Very highly ranked player on the ladder, but hasn't yet proved himself, as far as I'm concerned, yet in actual tournament play. His results are fairly limited. We will see. We will see if he's able to prove himself. So there's your Group C, folks. Your Group C is Root Kane, Root Massa, Evil Genius Usopp, and Hello Kitty. That means QXC will be in Group D, along with 3 other players. So, since you now know what the rest of the players are, you can very clearly see what Group D is. So we will accelerate this process, and then I'll give out the rest of the keys, and we'll talk a little bit about it. So, one after another, because of course everyone now knows what the final group is, because they were the only 4 players remaining. State. Protoss player. QXC. Terran player. For complexity. Xenocider. Currently teamless. Quite a young player, in fact. A lot of talent with that one, but yet to have a chance to prove himself. Shoutcraft America may very well be that venue. He is, of course, a Terran player. Currently teamless. We shall add that in, which means that the final player can be none other than RSVP. There you go. RSVP is the final player in the final group. So that leaves us with an interesting group, actually. A couple of very much, as far as I'm concerned, that group is a group where you want to prove yourself. You've got 2 players that are fairly well known. QXC, of course, I'd say the most dominant there. State. And then 2 lesser known players, Xenocider and RSVP. RSVP is Protoss. So I believe we have 2 Protoss and 2 Terran in that group. RSVP and State. And then Xenocider, if I recall correctly, is Terran. And then, of course, QXC. Alright. Well, there you go. Those are going to be your groups. So let's do a little recap. The hat is now gone. It has been discarded. So, State, I believe, is currently teamless, if I recall correctly. Unless that has very recently changed. Yes, he is currently teamless. So, the groups, which you can access and read yourself over on tinyurl.com/scagroups, tinyurl.com/scagroups. Group A, Root Puck, Root Vibe, Chaos Latin Gamers Maker, and Root Minigun. Group B, Millennium Gosu User, Complexity Hendrilisk, FXO Drunken Boy, and FXO Neeb. Group C, Root Kane, Root Massa, Evil Genius Usopp, and Hello Kitty. And then Group D, which is the one and only State, Complexity QXC, Xenocider, and RSVP. Well, that's a rough group for anyone that isn't QXC, I've got to say. But that's a place to prove yourself. I'd say QXC is clearly the favorite in Group D, but that doesn't mean a damn thing. The cool thing about this tournament, in my honest opinion, is the fact that everybody plays each other very regularly on ladder. That means there's going to be a huge amount of mind gaming, a huge amount of metagaming, and I'm looking forward to seeing these builds. That means these guys are going to have plenty of time to prepare for their groups. As regards to which group will be played on Sunday, the first broadcast, that being May the 5th, well, that really comes down to the availability of the players. We will check with the players, make sure they're all available, and if they're all available, we'll just start with Group A. If not, then we will mix things up a little bit, and we will start with a different group, just to make sure. Last thing we want to do, of course, is to put out our players. We don't want them to get screwed over. That would absolutely suck for them. So we won't be having any of that nonsense. Thank you very much. Oh, man. So, Group of Death. Which is the Group of Death? We're going to put up a straw poll right now. I would really, really like to know which group you feel is the Group of Death. Which is the strongest one here. So, I'm going to have that up for you in a second. Group of Death. Group A, B, C, or D. Alright. Straw poll is now up. Head over to strawpoll.me/33682. That is strawpoll.me/33682. And then we will find out. Strawpoll.me/33682. Which is the Group of Death? A, B, C, or D? You can vote now. In the meantime, I'll give away a couple more codes for you. I'm interested to see what people think here, actually. I really am. I'm definitely intrigued. We'll see how that ends up turning out for everybody. I can show you the results right now. Alright, so here are the stats coming in. Stats are coming in live, as you can see. Group A is currently considered by most people to be the group of death. Currently 500 votes and counting. 500 votes and counting, wow. It's a lot of votes. There you go. 37% say Group A. Group D is considered to be the least group of deathish. Don't really blame people for thinking that. It would be a little bit strange for people to think that was the group of death, obviously, because that is a group where you've got QXC and 3 slightly lesser-known players who have a good chance to prove themselves, I feel. 38% say Group A. There's some disagreement, though. A lot of people say Group C, and I don't really blame them for that either. Group C is actually pretty vicious, too. A lot of really good talent in Group C, especially considering you've got the 2 root players. You've got Massa and Kane, who are both really strong. Lesser known, I would say, than the other guys. I mean, you get Minigun and Puck, and everyone really knows who they are. But then you look at something like, say, Massa or Kane. Kane is a recent addition. Massa, of course, tends to fly under the radar a little bit. But then you've got, like, someone beastie like Vibe in Group A. 40% now say Group A. We're almost at 1,000 votes now to find out exactly who's ahead on this one. But I think it's probably safe to say Group Death is Group A. Group C looking pretty bad. So basically any group with root in it is the Group of Death, according to you guys. Very cool. You can check out the groups over on tinyurl.com/SCA groups. That is tinyurl.com/SCA groups. And I think we're petering out in the poll now, so I think it is a good time to close the poll. Yeah, 40% say Group A for the Group of Death. 41% now, Group A. Wow, yeah. I think it's safe to say that we have a consensus. Very cool. Thank you very much for that, guys. Alright, so we've done the group selection. We know what's happening. So we will be doing the first broadcast on May the 5th. That will be starting at 2 p.m. EDT, which is, of course, let's see, 11 a.m. on the West Coast. That would be 7 p.m. the British Isles, 8 p.m. Central European Summertime. I'm also happy to announce that we should have casts in Spanish as well as Portuguese. So we have 2 of those available, and I believe we're setting up casts in a couple of other languages. We're getting French as well. If I recall correctly, Asakaru's team is doing the French broadcast, so we'll be having that. Currently, I don't think we have anyone lined up for German, so if any German casters want to do it, then feel free to apply to jennabane@cynicalbrit.com. But we'll be trying to cover as best we can, obviously, the South American countries. There is only 1 Mexican player. Everyone else is actually in the northern part of the continent, that being North American players, and we have, I think, 4 or 5 Canadians. But we will be providing casts regardless in Spanish and Portuguese. So that should hopefully be good for people. Let's have some more awesome Naughty keys while we go on. Now, the first cast will be myself and Husky. Now, you might want to wonder, who else is casting? Well, now's a great time to tell you. We don't have everything completely set up yet, but what I can tell you is Husky is going to cast Day 1 with me, and I will also be casting with Day 9. Day 9 will be making an appearance. As to when, well, I will reveal that later down the line once we have the entire cast lineup sorted out. We still have a few days we haven't got sorted out yet. And the finals will be cast live in New York City with myself and Axlav co-casting. So it'll be myself and Axlav on the cast.